Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the heart of Audi Motorsport. Welcome to Neuburg an der Donau.
Here comes Lucas Di Grassi.
And we've got a pass.
Yes.
Lucas Di Grassi.
Really electrifying start from Daniel Abt. Watch for the yellow highlights. He's already down the inside.
Daniel Abt takes the lead.
Berlin E-Prix is underway.
That was close. And there's Di Grassi again.
Ben gets in really deep.
What a move.
And we go green in Buenos Aires. Di Grassi covers the inside line. Lucas Di Grassi it is who has held the lead. The champagne is sprayed. He goes straight to the crowd. It's victory for Di Grassi in Mexico. Green in Montreal, and Di Grassi comes over and covers it nicely. Very late on the brakes, but Di Grassi holds the lead. Through goes Daniel Abt now in a straightforward manoeuvre. It's victory for Lucas Di Grassi here in Montreal. Side by side, and Piquet pushing Di Grassi. There's no love lost between these two. Lucas Di Grassi is the Formula E champion.
Cannot be more proud of my team, of my sponsors, of Audi, to be the 2017 World Champion of Formula E. It's just an amazing feeling.
Well, I mean, that might only be a 2-3 minute video, but that tells a very long journey. Blood, sweat and tears, a lot of emotion. And it was great to see the end there. Obviously, Lucas Di Grassi winning the Season 3 Drivers' Championship. But just wanted to quickly welcome you all, because you've all travelled, well, some of you have travelled quite far, some of you not so much. So thank you for everyone here coming here today, because of course we are launching something very, very special. Launching the Audi Sport Ab Schaffler Formula E team. Now, I think it's very appropriate that the first person we get up on stage to talk about why Audi are joining Formula E is a member of the board for technical development at Audi. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Peter Mertens. Hi, Peter.
Hey,
how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's official. This is happening now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
very exciting.
It is very exciting indeed. I think we should probably start off with the big question, really, that everyone wants to know why. You know, why have Audi decided to now officially have a team in Formula E?
Well, I think it's very clear. It's a very, very interesting series. And it's obviously a different series than all the series existing. And it's important for us to be part of this electrification effort, not only in our engineering and on the road, really on the tracks. It's going to be the future, and we're going to learn a lot. And it is very exciting racing.
I mean, you touched upon there that the future at Audi is electric mobility. I mean, how important is that now for the company?
Was one of the big growth areas. We are in the midst of starting a big program in terms of electrification. We're going to launch the first vehicle, a full-size European full-size SUV, the e-tron next year with 500 kilometers range. Beautiful car, really starting at the top of the line, and then shortly after that we're going to have a sports spec of that variant, and a year later we're going to have the next car. There's more and more and more and more to come. In 2025 we're going to have significantly more than 20 electrified variances, which of at least 12 are battery electric vehicles. That shows how important electrification is for us, but it also shows how important it is with Formula E and those kinds of activities to really learn and get ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Audi have had a very long history in motorsport and a lot of success, particularly obviously in the World Endurance Championship, no less than 13 Le Mans wins. But let's just take a quick look at a video of how that transition has taken place and ended up in Formula E. Well, that video makes it again look very easy. Is it just a matter of just changing a few nuts and bolts and there you go?
Well, it's a little bit more difficult than that.
Oh, okay, but, fair enough. But when we're talking about technology, I suppose being developed on the racetrack and then being transferred to the road, I mean, how much do you actually learn? How much do you use motorsport in what you then use on the consumer car?
Well, of course, it is important for us, and that's why we are participating to learn on these kind of extreme situations. And then with that knowledge, we're going to put that into our development plans and really make sure that our vehicles, electrified vehicles, are really setting the benchmark in the future. That's important, and that's why we think part of that learning and being ahead of the curve is Formula E.
Brilliant. Now, I do know that you had a pretty cool time when you came to Berlin to watch the doubleheader in Formula E, obviously at Tempelhof Airport, and you had podiums as well to celebrate. What did you think about your Formula E experience?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, Tempelhof is a very, very special location, which I really enjoyed to be. The whole setup of Formula E, that we actually go to the spectators and not the other way around, and going to the metropolitan areas and really also attracting different kind of spectators than we do in the, let's say, classical combustion engine racing. I think it's a fantastic setup. It's a very young series. We have to remember that. It's going to grow. It's going to be more important. We're the first one, OEM, really putting our own team into that race series. Others going to follow, and we'll see what happens.
And it's much more sociable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You can have a conversation. It doesn't matter. It's not so noisy. It's great.
Super. You don't have to wear your earphones
exactly.
and stuff. And, families with their kids are there having a great time. I think it is fantastic. There is obviously also a future for, traditional racing, but there is a bright future also for Formula E.
Brilliant. Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you in Hong Kong.
Yes,
thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, to tell us a little bit more about what it really takes to actually prepare and get a team ready in Formula E, will you please welcome the head of Audi Motorsport, Dieter Gass. There you go, food, your highlights. I love it when, the camera never lies. They've even put a picture of you eating your lunch in the middle of having a sandwich. It's not very fair, is it? Did you just, you were? Yeah. But just tell us, well, first of all, actually, we've got to say congratulations.
Thank you.
This is an extremely exciting time for Formula E, for motorsport, obviously for Audi. Tell us how you enjoyed, I suppose, the last season, season 3, a pretty nail-biting end. What was it like to experience?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really extremely exciting season overall, with some ups and downs during the season, I have to say. But obviously, I'm most impressed, and most of my memories I have the final in Montreal. When we got there, I didn't really expect to walk away with a championship in our pockets. But as it came out, we had an extremely good performance over the weekend. Lucas, in particular, he really didn't put a foot right from the word go on the final weekend. We had a victory on Saturday, and from then onwards we started to believe. But then we had the Sunday race, and finally we could come back home with the title.
I mean, from a sort of a fan perspective, it was brilliant. It was so entertaining. But I'm sure from your perspective, it was slightly more nerve-wracking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there were a few pictures as well of me following the race there together with Hans-Jürgen. And I think if you look at it, you see the excitement. You see, I didn't bite my nails, but for sure it was extremely exciting, the whole race.
Well, it was a brilliant result, of course, for Lucas and for the team. Tell us a little bit more, I suppose. Obviously, Audi, they're bringing a full factory team. What does that mean in terms of commitment, and how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a big commitment for us, that's for sure. We're now taking over the whole operation. That means development of the three elements of the car. The drivetrain goes over to Audi and Schaeffler with our technology partner. And we will take over the responsibility on the racetrack together with the team that has done the operations so far with AUDI.
Fantastic. And are there any special key personnel that you're looking forward to working with?
Well, yeah, obviously, with taking over the responsibility for the team, we are bringing some more personnel, and I think we have one very special person here as well that is not new to the ambience, but he's very well known, but he has taken over now a position of responsibility, and this is our well-known Alan McNish.
So, the new team principal, welcome. Wow.
Thank you, Dieter.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
First official appearance
Yes.
as team principal. Now, Alan was obviously in the pit lane a lot last season, and we probed him so many times, and yet you kept your mouth completely closed. You didn't give any of it away. But now we can talk about it. It is official.
Yep, no, it's official. It's obviously very exciting. It's a new time for Audi. Obviously, from my perspective, I've been with Audi for a long time. 2000 was the first time that I worked with Dieter and with Dr. Ulrich, and the relationship worked, and now it's evolved into the next stage.
I mean, you've obviously got a huge amount of experience behind you on the track and in teams. What do you think Formula E really brings to motor racing? You know, what are you attracted to?
I think Mr. Mertens said it earlier on. It's very new and it's embryonic, so it's developing all the time. But because it doesn't necessarily have the historical nature about it, then it can define its own path. And that's quite interesting for me, is the way that it's defining its own path. Racing in the city, something I've done a lot in my racing career. And that's a really positive part about it. And it's with the new technologies, the new way of working and the new look of it as well. I think it's actually pricked up a lot of people's interest, especially the fans, as you know, by the fact that you're working with them at every race like we are.
Absolutely. And now that you've kind of, got a proper job, you're responsible for lots of things. What are your sort of duties going to be to the team?
Well, it's pretty busy because I've got to have an overall view and understanding and direction with the team, whether it be in a technical and a sporting side of things, but at the same time represent Audi very much with the FIA, the governing bodies, with the other manufacturers and also with FEO to make sure that we're going in the right direction, but hopefully as well we try and guide the championship in the right direction through the next stages.
And those next stages, I mean, what are your goals? Obviously, with Lucas winning the Drivers' Championship last year, I mean, he commented on, thank God he did it in Season 3, because it's only going to get more competitive. On that note, what are your goals?
When I was a driver, I only ever had one goal, and that was to win.
Yeah.
And I don't think taking the helmet off has changed that. You have to go to a race to try and win. You go to a championship to try and win. And clearly it is going to be very competitive. Next year is going to be even more difficult than it was in Season 3. We know that. But everybody's worked extremely hard over at Audi Sport. APT are up to the game. And also with, as Dieter said, with Schaeffler as well. I think we've put a very good package together. And looking forward to Hong Kong to try and defend the driver's title, but also add the manufacturer's title to it as well. I think that's a nice sort of goal for the year, I would say.
How are you feeling about testing next week?
Well, that's going to be the real truth, isn't it? Because that's when you everybody's out at the same time and you get the first feel of exactly the work over the winter. But clearly, we've done our homework. We need to see how everybody else has done their homework. But going in, as champions with #1 in the car, I think is a very positive way to start the year.
Absolutely. Well, Alan McNish, huge congratulations and look forward to seeing you in the pit lane more.
See you in Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Dieter, obviously, Alan McNish there talking about big goals. Obviously, to have these big goals, you need to have a strong team behind that team, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. And I think as the whole thing evolved, we had a very strong start already from the word go together with Abt. And we are very pleased actually that by taking over now from Audi, we have managed to keep almost all our partners and sponsors which have been involved, like Abt, like Schaeffler. And I think this is as well an element of strength and a sign of strength that everybody has been involved so far is carrying on with the project. And I think today is not only a special day in terms of the launch of the new team, but it is as well a special day for one person here because we have Siggy Krause sitting over here. It's actually his birthday today, so happy birthday, Siggy. Yeah,
and he's got cake as well.
A small cake, yes. And actually, Siggy is the man with Audi Sport since years and years and years, taking care about the sponsors, and obviously he was involved as well in getting things going.
Fantastic. That cake looks really good. Do you mind if we just take a quick break?
Yeah. We should.
Okay, in a minute. Well, I'm actually very pleased to say that two of those founding partners that really, really believed in Formula E from the beginning are here with us today. So can you please welcome Hans-Jürgen Abt, the CEO and owner of Abt Sportsline, and then Peter Gutzmer, the Deputy CEO and Chief Technology Officer at Schaeffler. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Check out those shoes.
Cool, huh?
Very nice. Wow.
Electric, hybrid.
They're definitely not electric, but there's something special. Hans-Jürgen, you know, huge credits to you because you really believed in Formula E from the very beginning. How proud are you that you made that decision, looking back, you know, back in 2013 when you had to make that decision and there were so many divided opinions, I think, back then?
Of course, I'm really proud because when we look back what we achieved the last 3 years or the last 3 seasons, it's amazing. But when you see how we started, it was also amazing because we saw the concept and the EIA in Frankfurt, and we took immediately the decision to enter into series. But then we start to create everything. Then we found the co-founder, Mr. Schaeffler. We asked him what we can do. We need a little of budget, and then the teams runs, and then the first race, and we won it. And this was the second history, first win in a Formula E race, and then the history starts, you know. And I'm always proud because what we achieved with the team is amazing, still to win the championship.
Yeah, it really, it's been amazing to watch your journey. I mean, obviously, Abt has had over sort of 6 decades of motorsport history. How much of a standout moment was winning the championship this year?
For me, it's the most important win because when really you look back what kind of risk we took and what kind of spirit we developed and what else we need to be on the track to have a competition against the best teams in the world, also against manufacturers, and you know what we achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to watch. Peter, it was good to see that you two are standing side by side, still smiling. So it obviously has been a good 3 years. But again, you believed in Formula E from the beginning. What was it that initially attracted you to Formula E that, you know, allowed you to commit?
I think there are several reasons. The first one is I know how strong the Abt team, especially Hans-Jürgen and Harry are. So when they came and told me about this, so this was amazing. So this was encouraging. The second one, we were in a road to e-mobility within Schaeffler. And right from the beginning, I knew we need to have something emotional. We need to do something aside. So this is too rational, just creating e-drives. And this was an outstanding opportunity because there was, in the whole field, there was anything new, innovative. This is what is really showing to Schaeffler. And so this is why we decided to get into that, to compete and to build up a very strong team. And I'm really proud that The first race we won together. Even the second race with our completely new powertrain, we won. And finally, in the second seasons of our powertrain, we won the championship. So what can we do better? And I think this is success of a team, of a very strong team. Abt, Scheffler, supported by Audi. And we are very proud to have a foundation now for the new, even stronger team led by Audi. And we are looking forward. I'm very proud that we can still be part of this team, be part of this emotion. And we are really looking forward for another, hopefully successful season. We will do our best, I can promise.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be lots of emotion, that's for sure. There always is. Now, there's a key message at Scheffler, which is mobility for tomorrow. I mean, that is kind of summarized perfectly within Formula E, isn't it?
No, absolutely. And I think this is even the best marketing. Formula E is the best marketing for our vision, for our strategy that we have developed. Mobility will completely change. And as I said, there's a lot of rational issues, thinking behind that. Electrifying the cars is there. But people, right from the beginning of mobility, if you look back, beginning of the 19th century, 20th century, when mobility started, the first engineers of cars, like Bugatti, like Porsche, name it, whatever you want, they competed in racing. Mm-hmm. So Formula E is on the same level. Yeah. So and we start with competing there, and we show up that we are competitive, we are more than competitive, we are winners. And this is, for us, a key element for the future. And for us, even working with Audi, all the colleagues here, is even more important, because now we are teaming up in racing, and we show joint competence, but we also team up in production cars. And this is what I'm also proud of. Proud of the whole Scheffler team, proud of anybody there. So we can really transfer what we learn. We can get into the real world, and we will still be on the emotional side of the business with Formula E.
But the key message here is winning, I think you mentioned. So no pressure on the new team.
That's why we are there. We win in production, we win in series, but we also win in racing.
Brilliant. Well, thank you both for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Peter Gutzmer and Hans-Jürgen Abt. Well, Dieter, obviously we've now starting to hear from your team and the people really behind it. It's probably about time we start to talk about the drivers before we see the car. Can you announce your new team for this year, driver lineup?
I could start at least, yeah.
Good, that's always positive.
Yes, I mean, obviously we have seen the team now, and we've heard about the partners, and we have two drivers, obviously, this year again. And I'm very happy and very proud that today I can announce a new factory driver at Audi. It's a known face in the ambience, but still it's a new situation for us and for him. And I would like to welcome Daniel Abt as our new factory driver.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Abt. Now we're going to watch a
really electrifying start from Daniel Abt. He's already down the inside, and it is so tight.
There's Daniel Abt on the inside of D'Ambrosio.
That look of relief on your face is amazing. Daniel Abt, huge congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This has been a long journey. I actually did my very first Formula E interview with Daniel in Kempton in, well, it must have been very early 2014. I think you'd barely left school. Really? And now you're an Audi factory driver. I mean, this has been such an incredible journey for you. How does it feel?
Good evening, first of all. It feels incredible. It's like a little dream come true for myself, because obviously I was born and raised in a family which was always connected with Audi, and so I was always connected with Audi and never cheering for another brand than Audi. But of course, it felt like a relationship that was always there. now we kind of married, and I'm just really proud to be part, and a huge thanks to everyone involved in this project for having the belief in me and giving me the chance to be an Audi factory driver. It's a great day for me.
I mean, this is when things get real. It's big time now. We're going into season 4, but obviously you've been at every race for the last 3 seasons. Can you pick out a favourite moment?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Thank God there was one. At least there was one good moment.
No, but
which one?
I think my favorite and most emotional was Berlin season 2, when I took when I took second place. My best result there, in front of the home crowd with a lot of pressure, a lot of guests, all our partners there, and that's a moment I will never forget. Of course, I still miss that win that I really, really want. But yeah, that was a great moment. The whole week was amazing because I drove the Formula E car through Berlin, was in front of the Brandenburger Gate. That's something you don't do every day, and a proud moment. You
missed the win. Didn't you also miss your flight the next day? Because you were celebrating so much.
I think that was in Long Beach.
What are you now looking forward to in season 4? What are your sort of goals, I suppose? What do you want to achieve?
Well, Alan said earlier on that we only go to a race to win. So that has to be the goal of everyone. It's not getting easier. I think that's quite clear. Formula E has picked up incredibly. If you look at teams, if you look at all the drivers that are in now, it's insane. It's really amazing. I think no one would have believed that we get this far. But yeah, we have a factory team now. We have a lot more support, a lot more people behind us, and hopefully the best car on the grid. And then it's our task as drivers to do the best job we can.
How do you think testing's going to go? Because obviously, yes, you're right. You've now obviously got Audi behind you, but there are other competitive teams now in Formula E also having a lot more resource behind them.
Of course. I mean, I think we're very well aware that there's a lot of big brands that also want to win. Everyone wants to win. But all we can do is focus on ourselves, try to do the best job. It's not easy because also we have to, kind of restructure because in the first moment when you have a lot of new people in, it also makes it difficult because you need new structures, communication changes, all that stuff. But I think we are on a very good way. I believe our car is good and I cannot wait to get to Valencia. And then we will see where we are more or less.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much. Now, it's probably the right time to now get your teammate up, which I'm sure you might have guessed who that's going to be. So I would now like to welcome up on stage the reigning Formula E champion, Lucas di Grassi. There's a video.
Here comes Lucas di Grassi. It's victory for di Grassi in Mexico. Lucas di Grassi is the Formula E champion.
Well, this is awkward. No Lucas di Grassi. This is not how you impress your boss, is it? Where's he gone?
I don't know. He should be here, really.
Him off?
No, I didn't.
He heard you were coming. I don't know. My eyesight isn't that good. But can you see a car coming outside? As the garage door lifted up?
The one with the bright headlights?
The one with the bright headlights, yeah. I mean, I said my eyesight wasn't that good. I think that might be Lucas in the new car. Can you see? Is he coming? So here we have the brand new Audi e-tron FE04 with Lucas di Grassi behind the wheel. Wow, look at the new livery. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Wow. Lucas, come and join us up on stage. Huge round of applause. This way. The stage is over here. Ah, I see. Are we live on some social feed somewhere? Congratulations. Very nice car. New wheels. What do you think? Looks good.
Well, looks amazing. I saw it the other day and I just fell in love. It's a beautiful machine. It's the spirit of the Audi e-tron. Inside, we made a big step from last year, so I'm very happy that Audi now joined Schaeffler and AUDI on this with the full power now, and we are very happy that we can make this beautiful machine run as fast as it can go.
What do you think of the new livery?
Just said it.
No, but which part? Which part? The lack of red? I
think,
yellow?
to be honest, there
cool.
is yellow.
Not
green,
so much.
There is yellow, green, white. There is a bit of blue. Is let's say a little bit less of a Brazilian flag that we had last year. But it's an amazing. For me, it's the most beautiful livery I've seen in any Formula E car. Up to this point.
Is it especially nice because it now features the number 1 on it?
Well,
which is obviously your new number that you've chosen as being the reigning champion.
That's another thing. We decided to go to number 1, which is, of course, we won the championship last year in a very, very hard-fought battle after 3 years trying. And we thought it was more than welcome to display the number 1 on the Audi car. So, I think it looks amazing.
So it looks good. What about the inside? I know you're not going to share that much information, but can you give us a few, little tidbits about the technical development of this car?
Did they say it has 1 gear? Oh, can I say that?
Too late.
We've made a big step. We optimized all the drivetrain from every. Last year the car was already very competitive, so it's very difficult to improve from something which is already extremely good. But of course, with the Audi know-how from the hybrid part, from the car that I drove, the R18 for so many years, combined with the Schaeffler expertise, we managed to optimize every single part. We managed to improve a lot the software, the MGU, the electric motor, the components of the gearbox, the differential. Pretty much every part of the car that you're allowed to develop, we looked at every fine detail and we made sure that we could go the next step so we could fight for more wins and more victories.
That's what we like to hear. There's been a lot of winning talk in this room, by the way, no pressure. Talk to us a little bit about next season as well. We've got 4 new races on the calendar: Rome, Zurich, we're going to be going to Santiago, and of course Sao Paulo. Now, it's just probably a silly question, but which race are you looking forward to the most?
I'll have to say Sao Paulo. I'll be a little bit biased. But pretty much all of them. Actually, we had such an amazing calendar that is very difficult to choose one from another. Each race is special. For example, for sure, Hong Kong is extremely challenging on those bumpy parts, very narrow. And then we go to Marrakesh, which is very flowing, almost like a circuit style, very different from Hong Kong. Then Santiago, again, it's a full, brand new for everyone. So we have to do a lot of work on the simulator. So we have to do a lot of preparation because we have zero data from the track, which is also the case in Sao Paulo, which is also the case in Rome, which is also the case in Zurich.
It's going to be a busy year.
Yeah, so it's going to be a busy year. The best tracks we're going to repeat: New York, Berlin. I heard is on the Tempelhof as well, which is also a very, very nice, very different venue. But I'm a big fan of Tempelhof. And then we go to the one of the nicest track, most technically challenged, which is Montreal, to end the year. So, yeah, it's not going to be easy.
It's going to be a very busy year, but of course it starts next week at testing. How are you feeling about that?
We have done already a lot of testing with this car. Pretty confident. We never been at this level before on the other 3 seasons. So I'm very confident that in testing we are really good. But what we have to say is that in competition, doesn't matter how good you are. What matters is how good you are compared to the other ones.
That's true.
So up to this stage, the only thing I can say is that everybody, all the engineers, everybody, all the team behind, the mechanics, everybody did a fantastic job of putting this car together. But we're going to see the true potential when we compare with the others.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we have to just say a huge, huge good luck. Massive, massive thank you for showing us the new car. And before we give you a big round of applause, there will be an opportunity. Everyone that's been up on stage are going to be going to the car for a photo. So everyone, please get stuck in, take as many photos as you want. And for anybody watching on social media, don't go anywhere because we're going to be doing a little Q&A with the drivers and the teams. So on that note, thank you so much, and time for a photo.
Thank you.